Intro. Hello, moviegoers, and welcome to Moviegoer. I'm Max Forrest.
I'm Paul Ilke.
And today we'll be reviewing and discussing 28 Weeks Later. So, 28 Weeks Later, directed by Juan Carlos Fresnadillo and starring Jeremy Renner, Idris Elba, and Rose Byrne. Let's roll the trailer.
Have you come into direct contact with the infected?
Execute Code Red.
It's probably nothing.
We've lost control. Kill everyone.
Be my shadow, that's it.
The internet synopsis. 6 months after the original epidemic, the rage virus has all but annihilated the population of the British Isles. Nevertheless, the U.S. Army declares the danger past, and American soldiers arrive to restore order and begin reconstruction. Refugees return to British soil, but one of them carries a deadly secret. The virus is not gone and is even more dangerous than before. This movie has a remarkable opening. You thought Cillian Murphy wandering around empty London and running into the infected at 28 Days Later was neat? This opening blows that out of the water. We begin our film in a boarded-up cottage in England. It belongs to an elderly couple. There's some random guy there and some random girl there, and our main couple, the parents of the kids he will meet, so we'll just call them father and mother, are hanging out there too. During dinner, a kid starts banging on the door to let him in. He eats pasta and tells his story. Random girl goes to the window and looks at a little slit they have to look outside, and BAM! A zombie grabs her and takes a chomp out of her arm. The kid was followed. Now all shit would break loose. Random girl is infected now, and father kills her with a crowbar. The old couple try to escape but get ripped apart by the zombies. We get to a divisive moment. Father and mother are in the same room, and a zombie appears right in between them. Father can't fight that zombie blocking his wife, and is forced to flee the scene out the door behind him. Some people say he abandoned his wife, but from the looks of it, he couldn't figure out how to fight that zombie in between them, and he couldn't save his wife. The father escapes through a window, and we get killer helicopter shots as he runs through the field, infected chasing him. The music "In the House in a Heartbeat" plays in the background. It fits the scene beautifully. Paul, I'd like to know how you feel about this opening. Secondly, do you think the father did the only thing he could do by leaving? I ask you, Paul, and I ask the movie viewer community too. Please comment something.
It's hard because that scene is so frantic. I do see that it would have been tough for him to try to save his wife, but I feel like he didn't really put in that much of an effort though either. He just kind of like stood there and waited for more zombies to come in and then left.
I know, but my whole thing is you have him there and a door in back of him, the zombie and his wife, and he can't take out that zombie. So he leaves. I mean, and then he's like, people roast him for what he did, but...
Well, I don't think you're supposed to like this character.
Oh, really?
You know, because like, I think he hesitated too much and took like the coward's way out and just left.
He managed to kill like 2 of them with a crowbar. So if he still had the crowbar, no excuse.
Yeah.
But I don't think he did. So what's he gonna do? Use karate?
Well, the thing, I think we're not supposed to like this character because later when he explains to his kids what happened, he kind of like bends it a little bit.
Bends the truth.
So like, I think it was meant to kind of put the character in a situation where like he could have tried something and then failed and escaped, but he just decided to just leave in general, just not even try anything. And I think it's meant to be like ambiguous like that. I think it's meant to be like you question it. I don't think we're really supposed to. I think this kind of discussion is supposed to happen.
It's supposed to happen.
you
Yeah.
know?
15 days later, mainland Britain is quarantined. 28 days later, mainland Britain has been destroyed by the rage virus. 5 weeks later, the infected have died of starvation. 11 weeks later, an American-led NATO force enters London. 18 weeks later, mainland Britain is declared free of infection. 24 weeks later, reconstruction begins. And now, 28 weeks later, welcome to Britain, says a woman while the kids are on the train. It's a heavily militaried Britain. It's called District 1, completely closed off from the rest of Britain. It's New Britain. The mother, who we find hiding in her old house like a feral woman, and the son are both immune to the infected virus and are treated as precious cargo to find the cure. There are plenty of scenes with the zombies that are intense as hell. When all the people are trapped in, I guess it's some kind of giant dark garage, people are getting massacred by the infected. We watch people get ripped apart and bit, spreading the virus through the dark garage they're trapped in. Another tense scene towards the end is when the kids were trying to go underground to escape and it's completely dark. Rose Byrne's character, a scientist with the night vision scope, is directing the kids where to go in the pitch black. We don't know if the infected are down here. Very edge of your seat. And of course, who can forget about the badass killing scene with the helicopter toward the very end? I won't spoil it, but it's amazing. Now, Paul told me that he had a problem with the kids. I don't know why. The girl was your everyday girl, and the boy was smart and brave. During the parking garage massacre, he finds a vent and goes in it. He's smart. There's a sniper, and Jeremy Renner is saying to a man he has to run zigzag zigzag to avoid the sniper, and while he's doing that, he's going to snipe the sniper who's trying to kill them. The man refuses to do it. He's too scared, and so the boy does zigzag zigzag. Renner shoots the sniper. The kid is smart and brave. I don't understand what to dislike. Paul?
For me, the whole thing that kicks off the whole story are the kids leaving the camp and going back to their old home and finding the mom. And the dad and everyone. And
But can you blame them for that? Because, they find their mom again. They're
I
not
do.
doing anything wrong. They don't know that she's infected.
Well, no, and they don't know that she's there, and they don't know, what they're gonna get into. But like when someone says, don't leave the camp, it's dangerous out there, and then they leave the camp.
They're kids.
Well, that's the thing. It's like I don't know. That just that annoyed me so much because I just feel like.
Well, they didn't just go out for shits and giggles. They went out to find a picture of the mother.
Yeah, no, it's like it's hard because I feel like none of this would have happened if the kids never left the camp.
That's true.
The only reason why the mother got discovered is because the kids left the camp.
You're right. They I guess you could look at it that way, that they fucked everything up.
Yeah. That's the way I took it.
Oh, okay. I understand.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Rose Byrne, a scientist, has to keep the boy alive because he's the son of a woman who was immune, meaning he might be immune and also carry the cure. There's the movie in a nutshell. My verdict? It's rare a sequel is good, but this one was. I give it a light 4 out of 5.
Alright, so first things first, I have to give credit to the opening sequence. That was excellent. And I'll talk about the frantic cinematography style a bit later, but here it really works. I especially love the handheld jib shots, like swooping over the dad character as he runs away, leaving his wife behind and reveals that horde chasing him. Mm-hmm. So awesome. And then it's all downhill from here. At first, I wasn't really sure what it is about the 28 Days Later movies that I didn't like. But this movie made it clear. I hate the characters. We've mentioned several times before, smart, logical characters can go a long way. And these characters are complete idiots. The whole thing could have been avoided if those stupid dumbass kids didn't sneak out of the settlement. The dad is a coward and a liar, which was perfectly portrayed by that opening. And I don't think you're supposed to like this character, and that's fine. I thought there was going to be some kind of character development for him. maybe being reunited with his kids would help him become a better person. And then, you know, the little twist with the mother actually surviving, I thought that was going to be a really interesting development. The mom telling the real story of how he left her there to die. The revelation that she has natural immunity is cool too. I think this movie has decent concepts that weren't really explored or didn't have satisfying payoffs. There's individual scenes, when taken out of context, are scary and unique, but they're not satisfying or don't really make sense when it fits into the entire story. One big gripe that I kind of have is the scene where the boy does the zigzag.
Yeah.
After he finishes the zigzag and, you know, Jeremy Renner takes out the sniper, he like looks down like down the building, and he sees the zombie dad standing there.
I think that was in his head.
That's what I thought. I
Yeah.
thought it was just like, I thought it was like a vision or something. But then later towards the end, when they're in the tunnels,
Yeah.
it's the dad character that, you know, bites the son. But like
Are you saying how did he get
yeah,
there?
I'm saying, like, how did he track them down?
Well,
And like, how did he? And the thing is, like, these creatures, you know, these infected zombies are like portrayed as, you know, feral. They don't think; they just go. And then
Yeah.
he's acting like he's like stalking them, almost like hiding in the shadows.
yeah.
That's where I'm like, what are the rules here with these monsters? You know,
Zombies.
you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
that's where I'm like, how did the dad track them down?
Yeah.
So then-
that's definitely a plot hole.
Like, was that thing that the kid saw really a vision, or was the dad actually tracking them? You know, it's kind of like when you listen to an album and the individual songs are good, but as a cohesive work, it doesn't quite come together. And, you know, this was primarily shot on 16mm, so it keeps that same grittiness from the first one that I liked. But the shaky cam and frantic editing was like way too overboard. It got tiring really fast, and you couldn't really tell what was going on. Especially during the outbreak, I lost track of the characters. I didn't even notice the kids got split up at first. Or maybe I zoned out because I don't give a crap about them. Oh. But the brief moments in the opening were effective at breaking up the piece. Those jib shots were so cool, and it got me excited. I thought that with a slightly bigger budget, we were going to get more sweeping wide shots. I wish they carried that kind of loose cinematic style throughout. To me, seeing the scope of the infected and the set design is more impressive. I'm always going to be a sucker for those kind of big wide shots. But I was wondering though, like, what did you think about the edit? Like,
The edit?
yeah, the edit. Like, do you think it was too frantic, or?
Nope. I thought it was just right, honestly.
Mm.
Because it's frantic. What's happening? So, we always reference Jason Bourne.
Oh yeah.
I mean, Bourne Ultimatum. That was the one that kind of introduced shaky cam into action,
Yeah.
which I don't mind as long as it's done well.
Yeah.
I think in 28 weeks, it didn't bother me at all. So,
Oh, okay. So this one, I think it did kind of bother me a little bit, especially during that outbreak. Because, like I said, I might have like zoned out for like a couple minutes, and I completely missed that the characters got split up. And then all of a sudden, I see the kid climbing through the air ducts, and I was like, oh wait, when did that happen? Like, I totally missed it.
you zoned out.
Yeah. Overall, is this the worst thing I've ever seen? No. This is kind of on the same plane as the first one. Not horrible, not great. Brings up cool concepts that aren't executed to the best. The really great opening is what saves this. And some of those select interesting moments. I would say this is like a 3 out of 5.
3 out of 5.
Yeah.
Okay. I gave it a light 4.
Light 4, yeah. I think
Light 4.
partially I might like this a tiny bit more than the first one.
28 days?
Yeah.
Really?
Just because this one introduces cool concepts. Even though they're not executed like to the best of their abilities, I still think I like this one a tiny bit more than the first
Wow.
one.
That's bold.
Yeah.
When the helicopter dude
Oh yeah.
leans forward and
Yeah.
chops all those zombies up.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Would that work in real life though? Like,
Yeah.
or would that mess up the helicopter?
I don't know.
I don't know. But still, I mean, it's still visually interesting. A cool way to kill a bunch of zombies.
Yeah. I also saw a little behind the scenes footage
Oh.
that showed it was like zombie camp. They were like, a lady was like this. You go like,
Oh,
walk in a
like
certain way.
training them how
Training the
to.
extras
That's
to be
funny.
zombies.
That's pretty cool.
28 years coming soon.
Oh yeah, 28 years. I'm still interested to see it.
Oh, I'm
you know,
dying to see it.
we'll definitely talk about that one.
Oh yeah.
Who knows? Maybe I might like it a little more than these other ones. But no, we'll see.
I believe that Danny Boyle is returning to direct. Outro. Thanks for watching, everybody. And if you could subscribe and set notifications, that would be fantastic.
And we have a TikTok now. The link for that is in the description below. Thanks.
Thanks so much for watching.